That's all for part 3. Then we'll go to the last part, international payment methods. In international businesses, the settlement claims and debts and the transfer of money can be carried out by several methods of transmission. These methods can be divided into 2 types. One based on commercial credit and the other based on bank credit. The first type include remittance and collection, while the second type include letter of guarantee and letter of credit. We'll illustrate those different methods one by one. First, let's look at remittance. Remittance refers to a bank called the remitting bank at the request of its customer, called the remitter, transfers a certain sum of money to its overseas branch or correspondent bank, called the paying bank, instructing the paying bank to pay a named person domiciled in that country. Compared to other payment methods, remittance emphasizes that the buyer or the importer, on his own initiative, remits money to the seller through bank. It can be used for both commercial trade settlements and non-commercial trade settlements. There are 4 parties involved in remittance. That is the remitter, remitting bank, paying bank, and the payee. The remitter is the person who requests his account banking to remit funds to a beneficiary in a foreign country. The remitting bank is the remitter's accounting bank and will transfer funds at the request of a remitter to its correspondent or its branch in another country, and instructing the latter to pay a certain amount of money to payee or the beneficiary. Paying bank is the branch bank or correspondent bank of the remitting bank. It is entrusted by the remitting bank to pay a certain amount of money to a beneficiary named in the remitter's advice. The last party, the payee or the beneficiary, is a person who is addressed to receive the remittance. There are 3 basic methods for a bank to transfer funds for its client from the home country to abroad. They are telegraphic transfer, abbreviated as TT, mail transfer, abbreviated as MT, and demand draft, abbreviated as DD. TT refers to remittance by cable, telex, or SWIFT. The process is exactly the same as a mail transfer, except that instructions from the remitting bank to a paying bank are transmitted by cable or SWIFT instead. Therefore, TT is quicker but more expensive than mail transfer. It's often used when the remittance amount is large and the transfer of funds is subject to a time limit. Now, TT is the most popular type of remittance. Due to the rapid progress of technology, remittance by bankers' demand draft is often referred to as demand draft. A banker's draft is a negotiable instrument drawn by a bank on its overseas branch or its correspondent bank abroad, ordering the latter to pay on demand the stated amount to the holder of the draft. Demand draft is often used when the client wants to transfer the funds to its beneficiary himself. Compared to TT, telegraphic transfer, demand draft will take a longer time to finish the transfer of funds. Since the bank can occupy without any interest of the funds transferred, demand draft is less expensive than telegraphic transfer. In reality, the client can choose which method to be used according to its own requirements. Telegraphic transfer and mail transfer have a similar process. First, the remitter fills in an application form and chooses telegraphic transfer or mail transfer. Then, the remitting bank debits the remitter's account with the amount to be remitted, together with its commission fees. Then, the remitting bank issues a payment order to its branch or correspondent bank in the place where the payee is located. The payment order specifies the details of payment, including amount, name and address of the payee, and name of the remitter. Upon receipt of the payment order, the paying bank verifies the authorized signatures, notifies the payee, and pays to him the stated amount of money, minus expenses. Lastly, the paying bank claims reimbursement from the remitting bank in accordance with the letter's instruction. The process of demand draft is a little bit of complicated. The remitter presents the application form to the remitting bank. Then the remitting bank debits the customs account and draws the demand draft. The draft is handed to the remitter, who may send or carry it abroad to the payee. Upon receipt of the draft, the payee can either present it for payment at the counter of the drawee bank or collect the proceeds through his own bank for his account. Demand draft can be used for paying small amounts. Since the draft is a negotiable instrument, which can be transferred from one person to another by endorsement, it is more convenient in use for payment.